Alright, YouTube, my bad. I'm still getting used to doing this. And reminding myself to record, because I'm used to just jumping in there and getting it done. I have a regulator problem, which is common on the E39 BMWs. I took that out already. I'll record the installment of the new part. We'll go ahead and get that in, and I'll record that. I'll go through how to remove the door panel, etc. It's not too hard, pretty easy, but it's a really common problem. Today we're working on, on the Buick. Doing the rear brakes. I got the usual, driving one day, hit the brake, all of a sudden I'm hearing good old scraping, so we're good to go. Ended up getting the pads for that. They're about to go back in now. Simple. It's a little dark over here. Let me bring some light on this. Actually, no, I got the light over here already. We'll go back here. Alright, take off the wheel. I inspected the fronts. They're pretty good. The fronts have about half the time left on them still, so I opted to not do them yet. So these are the rears. You go in here, loosen up your little bolt here, you flip this bad boy up, and that's it. Pop the pads out. You pop the pads out, you're good to go. That's that, alright? I didn't get new rotors, they're rear brakes. I got a slight scraping on the inside. They'll be just fine, no biggie. I would cut them if I could readily find a place to do that kind of stuff anymore. I know of a machine shop that does it, but I'm not going to go to a machine shop and do all that right now. And I didn't feel like spending the extra money for the brake pads. Again, they're for the rotor. Alright, so we'll just swap these in. We're going to clean this up, throw some grease on here, grease up the pins, put them back in. And they'll be good for another 10 years, I'm sure. Or more than that, actually. This is an 04, so I think this is the first time these brakes are actually being done. And again, I'm sorry, I try to do a time lapse, or I'll record this, do a little time lapse for it. It's simple, slinging some pads, nothing too crazy. On a 04 Buick LeSabre, little H-body action here, daily driver stuff. I really don't want to be wrenching on this, but hey, you got to keep the daily driver on the road. We all want to be wrenching on this stuff instead. Got some Bilsteins coming for the SRT, the Jeep. Tried looking around. And see, I ended up getting them for a good price. They should be the same part number as the SRT8 and the Laredos, I believe. I'm not a Mopar expert, but anything's better than what's in there now. There are Bilsteins in there now. They want like $190 a piece for the cheapest I could find until I found this website. I ended up getting both of them for $150, so we'll see what happens. I'll compare the part numbers when I get them off to make sure. And got to get the hatch open. We've got that good old Jeep Grand Cherokee rear stuck hatch issue all of a sudden. Got to do that. Got some body work to do on that bad boy. Got a little bit of body work to do on this one when I get around to it. Again, everything here, budget. Try to keep everything budget. They didn't have any front struts for that truck. The rears are worse. The fronts have to be done also. I'll try to get them. They don't have them in stock right now. But we'll get it done. And I will remember to record all that stuff. I'm trying to remember all this stuff too. Got a Honda timing belt water pump issue coming up soon. Also. And I'll try to keep the content coming. Like I said, I work on all makes, all models. I'm always the big three, GM, Mopar, Dodge, and Ford. Those are my favorites. I have one foreign in the family and my girlfriend's car, but I work on everything. And I will try to keep the videos coming. I know this stuff will help. For me, it seems pretty simple, and for a lot of people it is, but there are some people out there that just don't know or are just starting out. So if I can help them, I'll be glad to do that. Slinging pads are one of the easiest things you can do on a car, and they charge you so much sometimes in dealerships. These brakes in the rear are the twisting type. You have to get your little cube or your little brake tool, which I have around here somewhere. Most of the time I'll use the cube, believe it or not, even though I have the whole kit for it. To retract the piston, and you can even use needle nose pliers. A nice set of like snap-on. They gotta be sturdy. Pop them in there and twist them, and it'll twist back in. All right, let me get going on that. I'll put the head strap on. Head strap. I know some people are gonna be like, oh. Anyways, to record the thing, then I'll try to do a time lapse when I figure out how to do that. Even again, this is all new. We'll get there. Don't worry, guys. Just stick with me. All right. All right, so here we are with this. I know it's probably dark. We'll try to get this as bright as we can right now. Yeah, so this actually goes and pushes out this upper pin. It slides out. That's part of the reason why we had a problem on this side, actually. It's not greased. I really hope that you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm sure the video probably sucks right now because it's getting caught by the upper fender here. But yeah, this needs to be greased up for sure. Now, I still have the emergency brake cable connected there, so that's going to help things a little bit as far as staying in place up here. While we play around, a lot of people will disconnect that. I'd rather leave it in there. Gives me a little bit of leeway there. This looks like it hasn't had grease on it in a very, very long time. Very long time. So we'll try to get this pin greased up here. Little PBR on here for its cleaning properties. Get that old grease off of it. Like I said, this probably hasn't been removed ever here. I'm sorry again if the video sucks. We will get better. But I have to test all these things first because I do everything by myself. Not often I have too much help. I do have some friends that I always count on and can always help me out with major things. I'm sure they'll make their little appearances, but most of the time I'm doing this stuff by myself. I'll tell you, this little Harbor Freight lift came in very handy. I actually love it. I've been wanting a lift my entire life. I finally got one after all these years. This is synthetic brake caliper grease. It's Permatex. No, not a sponsor. It's funny to say that. So, but they are not. Well, we all know Permatex. They make good stuff. And that's really about it right there. We're going to clean this up a little bit. This hardware you can get new. Most of the time I will recommend getting new, but in this instance, being a daily, being my car, if this was a customer's car, yes, I would say sure, go ahead. It costs about $10 more to get the brakes with the hardware. Now, this hardware that they give you is stainless steel, so it is durable and it is in place. Should be good. No issues as far as that goes, as far as reusing it. All right, so let's get this bad boy. I actually dropped this before and busted this bulb out. We don't want to do that again. Oh boy. We'll hang that there for now. Again, this is what kind of sucks. Like I said, I really hope that you guys can see. I'll try to put this down a little bit more. If not, again, like I said, this is pretty much a pretty basic brake job video. Again, it is a little dark back here. I know it is. And this side, I'm looking to get more, putting more, lights onto this side of the shop. Especially now since I got the lift here, but you grab your little cube here, spin it in nice and easy. Of course, I'm putting my hand right on the fresh grease I just put on the pin, but that's how it always is. Again, like I said, I do have the other tool for this, but a lot of times it's rare that I ever have to do this. My ex-girlfriend's Volkswagen Beetle I did it with because she had screw-in calipers in the back, and this is the only car I have that has screw-in, that I personally own, screw-in calipers. So this is clockwise. I believe the driver, the passenger side, is counterclockwise. I don't remember if it is or isn't. Okay, I don't usually work on these brakes that much. A lot of them, almost all my cars have drum brakes in the rear, ironically enough. Or just regular piston calipers where I could just press them in with a good old C-clamp. Not this style. Oh boy. So should I have used a longer extension? Maybe, but we'll get it done with this one. I really hope you guys can see. I know it's probably dark, but you can get the gist of it. Screw it back in. Actually, at this point, it'd be easier to use my driver than this. There you go. See, you grab it, put your little box in here, and you screw yourself back into here. And that's basically it. That should be fully retracted now. I'm trying to find different places to hang this light and not blind myself, but also give you guys a good shot here. We're going to put a little more grease on here since a bunch of it got on my hand here. Oh great, I'm sure I keep on bumping into the car. Again, my apologies guys. I want to get better, so we got to start somewhere, right? Like everything else in life. So wow, look at that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Get a little better light on there with this bad boy. Don't like it still. Honestly, this is probably the first time that this caliper's ever been off and greased. Because, you know, most places you're going to go to, everything's about speed, unfortunately, when you go to a shop. Look at that. Look at that. You know, the mechanic wants to get you in and out because they're working on commission, etc. So that's one of my biggest problems when I have a person touch my car. I don't even like my car normally touched by anybody because they don't take care with anything they do, even this car. You know, yeah, it's a Buick. It's not exactly a high-end car here, but it's not a bad car. And it's mine, so therefore I want to treat it with a certain kind of respect. And that's the problem these days. People just don't treat anything right anymore. One of my biggest pet peeves is jacking up cars on pinch welds. I know a lot of people are like, what? A pinch weld is used, yes. You do use a pinch weld if you're in a pinch on the side of the road, no pun intended, when you got to jack up one wheel. But a lot of cars, especially my third gens, cannot be picked up by the pinch welds. They will get crushed. Even smaller cars, Hondas and everything. That's why you see them, and years later they got flat pinch welds and they got rusting out rockers because they should be lifted by body components. Like right here, this is a rear subframe bolted to the body. We jack it up from there, and then in the front we jack it up on the frame, on the chassis right here. See, this is where it should be jacked, not here. This is okay if you're doing a flat on one tire. You're going to pick up one corner right here, reinforced, that's fine. But to constantly pick a car up on a regular basis, it's going to make the car, it's going to get bent, and it's going to, especially if it's a heavy car, and it's going to get rotted. Again, most people don't keep cars as long as I do. I have cars for a very long time. There's only 3 cars that I don't have that I originally owned. I guess I have a problem, I don't know. Sorry for the back and forth, but it is what it is. Right next to the jack, we got the parts we need. AutoZone, not a sponsor, but I always use their pads for the longest. And look, they gave me the hardware. Well, I'm just gonna sling these bad boys. On these cars, the outer pad is the one with the wear sensor, believe it or not. Not like the originals, the way they were put in here. I didn't look at the thing there. Normally I would reuse it. I mean, I would use the new stuff and not put the old stuff back in. But I'm going to rock with the old stuff this time. I want to get this done, get this car back on the road. This car's been nothing but a problem for a long time now. It keeps on annoying me and annoying me. I keep on having to do all these jobs that I don't want to be doing. Why are you giving me a problem now? Before I had you up. But again, this is how cars are. We already know. That should be good enough. We're just going to put some on here. Your contact points. You don't want to get any on the rotor. If you do, some brake clean on there. I think I bought some more of this stuff. I've had this jar for years. This jar has done many, many, many brake jobs. This pin feels nice, so that's great. Oh, great, blind myself, awesome. All right, Now again, remember, like I said, customer's car, I'd be changing rotors, I'd be changing everything, or at least cutting them. But this is a daily, we're good. They'll be fine in this particular case. Alright. Do I want to put this on the upper? Yeah, I think I do. I want to have it facing up. There we go. That's one. This is two. Oh, there we go. Anti-squeal clip, you're in. You do your contact points. That would be here. This is to help with squealing. Come on. Okay. Come on. Oh. I think I popped it out just now. Don't want to do that. There we go. Beautiful. All right. We're in. Here's our pin. Something that they will not do in the shop as well neither. Let's take care of your car like I said, the way you would. This would be gunned back on or put on with a air ratchet, and the car goes down the road. You know, don't get me wrong, we've all done it. You can use an air ratchet here and there, but you kind of want to do this by hand when you can. They don't need to be manimaled on. Now when I took this apart, I felt that this was dragging a little bit. It was dragging just a little bit. Okay. And that is not good. This pin, like I said, needed to be greased as I just did, and now it moves nicely. This is way too much. So quote my buddy, or gentleman who I admire, Vice Grip Garage, perfect. Great guy, should watch his videos, awesome guy. He's been part of my inspiration along with Brutal and Foxcast Media and Goon Squad, all these guys to say, you know what, I enjoy doing this, and I've been doing this a long time, and it's nice, it's fun. Why do I have that? I know I didn't do that. I don't like the way that looks because I don't like the way that looks at all. Was this clipped onto here, I guess? I think winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? GM trying to get like, that's one thing I gotta say about Japanese and European cars, they all love clips and things to hold wires out of place, and it's actually pretty cool when you see it, and the fact that they go through the R&D to get it done. But okay, yeah, this is there. That's why it's wrapped with a lot of tape. You don't want to get this worn, but that's why I'm looking at this. I'm like, why is that completely worn there? But you know what? A little grease on there. Can't hurt anything. Being that we got some exposure through there, but the grease will hopefully keep some of the moisture away from the situation there. All right. That looks good. This really isn't going to move. It's going to just sit there. And this is tight. We are good to go here. All right, so we're back. We're finished. Wheels are back on, torque down. Everything's where it should be. Here we go. Ready to go. I'm about to pull it out. Probably not going to take it for a test drive. If I do, I'll go around the block. Nothing too crazy. Oh, God, that was all crooked. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. All right, so we're good. We're torqued. That should be good to go. A couple of little things I want to do with this thing. A big issue with these cars is these panels for the climate control. They all all the lights like to go bad on them. Same thing with these switches on the steering wheel. And some of the lights in the radio also. Yeah, it's old cassette, yeah, CD. But you know what? My iPod goes in there with that and it works just fine. I also want to fix that heated seat over there. That's over there. So we'll get around to all these little knickknacks and these little things. I got a little bit of body work here. This is why I cut the trees down. I don't know if you could see that with the light, but there's little dings up here on the roof. And this one right here, right there. That was happening on my watch. Car's filthy. This was there, but we maybe can fix this. See how we do with that. See if I get around to it. It is a daily. It is a Buick LeSabre, old man's car, but why should it look like crap, right? It doesn't look too bad when I clean it and wash it. It's filthy right now. But I'll get back to you in another video soon, I hope. Again, I'm videotaping everything I can, and then I'll start editing and start putting this stuff up and out, and try to keep it coming. And hopefully it works out good. All right? All right, till next time, guys. Take care.